This is the installation video for the factory assembled 770MX, released in December 2025. This video does not replace the operator manual. That can be downloaded on Tormach.com. Navigate to the support dropdown and to mill support. From there, scroll to the 770MX ML documents page and select the operator manual for your model mill. Read through the instructions for the installation, making sure to read the space, air, and electrical requirements before ordering your mill. Make sure your space is suitable for this mill. Make sure to follow all the safety warnings and cautions. Before starting the assembly of the 770MX, and before its arrival, you'll need to gather or order some tools and supplies. These include a standard pallet jack, a measuring tape, a retractable razor, cutters, impact driver, a 9/16 and 3/4 inch socket and wrench, a hammer, a crescent wrench, assorted zip ties, air tool oil, whey lube oil, a 230 volt wall plug for local electrical requirements. The factory assembled mill will arrive at your location on one crate. There are warnings on the side of the crate explaining which side to lift the mill, which is the back. If you lift from the front, there's a potential it could tip. Make sure to point this out with the forklift operator. Bring it into your facility and move it to a good location using a standard pallet jack. Lower the mill and pull the jack away. Use a cutter to remove the plastic wrap from the crate. Then a cordless drill to start removing the Phillips screws from the bottom of the panels first. Work up to the top and have a coworker set aside the panel. Do this with the other 3 panels. Pull the moisture protection off of the staples, securing it to the pallet. Then pull it over and off. The coolant tank and accessories are attached to the pallet with some screws. Use a cordless drill with the Phillips bit to remove these. Have a coworker help you to lift it up and off, then set it aside the pallet. Cut the straps holding the accessories in place. Pull out the tool bag. Inside will be the feet for the mill, fasteners, tools, wheels for the coolant tank, and then the air gun components. Place some floor protection underneath the back side of the coolant tank and tip the tank onto its back. Each wheel is secured to the bottom of the tank with 4 of the provided cap head screws, washers, and lock washers using a 6mm hex wrench. Secure each tightly. Do the same with the other 3 wheels. Once all 4 wheels are on, tip the tank back down. Place a chip basket back into the tank location. Cut off the zip tie holding the door to the side bracket. Lower the 770MX off of the pallet. Find a 9/16 inch socket and impact driver. Then remove the 6 bolts securing the board to the right side. Use a hammer to knock it out of place. With that board out of the way, find a 3/4 inch socket and wrench. Then start removing the 4 bolts underneath the pallet. If you ever plan to move this mill in the future, it might be good to store all of the pallet and crate material to reuse. Remove the other 3 bolts. Then slide the pallet jack underneath the mill and lift it up. Have a coworker pull the pallet from underneath the mill. Find the 4 mill legs and pads and spin the nuts down the length of the thread. Tip the leg underneath the post location and start threading it into place. You may have to raise the jack higher. Measure the bottom of the foot pad so that it's at 4.5 inches from the bottom of the mill. Raise the nut until it's snug up against the bottom of the mill. Repeat this for the other 3 mill legs. You can now move your mill to the final location. Just make sure you have the jack underneath the left or right side. Do not place the jack underneath the front or back, as the jack will not fit securely. Once at the final location, lower the jack and take it away. You'll notice that the operator console is installed here, but the current shipment will have the operator console packed separately, and you will have to install it. This was changed to reduce the possibility of damage. Bring the coolant tank over and slide it in place under the stand. Go to each leg nut, and now that there is weight on them, snug them up tight against the bottom of the mill. Attach the coiled hose to the air gun and place it into the holster. Take the other end and attach it to the push-to-connect fitting of the regulator above the automatic oiler. At the rear of the mill, loosen the screws holding the column cover. Slide it off and set it aside. Find the air line and cut off the cable tie. Attach the open end to the push-to-connect fitting on the filter regulator lubricator. Find the cord for the automatic oiler and plug it into one of the accessory ports. Unwrap the electrical cord that is around the coolant tank motor and pass it towards the rear of the mill. Plug it into the rear column outlet labeled Flood Coolant Power. Pass the coiled coolant hose underneath the mill towards the coolant motor and insert it into the push-to-connect fitting until it's fully seated. Fill the FRL. On the rear column, remove the right reservoir. Then fill it up to just under the threads. Resecure the reservoir back onto the FRL. Before connecting the mill to the power, fill in the oiler with whey lube oil. Do not go past the maximum fill line. If you start the oiler without oil, a loud alarm will sound. Installing the operator console. Place the op console on its side with the door hinges up top. Find the two black operator console hinges and install them with the short side onto the console. Once they are secured, use a crescent wrench to bend the hinges to about a 75-degree angle. Have your coworker hold it up to the op console mount while you secure it with the included screws. Once a screw is secured to both hinges, your coworker can let go as you secure the others. Take the operator console cables and pass them through the round opening in the op console mount. The AC adapter rests inside the ledge of the mount. Route the male end of the AC adapter power cord through the round access hole and plug it into the AC adapter. Rest it back into the mount. The DB25 jog pendant cable has to go through the hole on the underside of the operator console mount. Check the pendant connector fits through the sheet metal before disassembling it. Later mounts will have a larger hole, so this extra step won't be necessary. If it doesn't fit, then start disassembling it with a Phillips screwdriver. Hold on to the nuts, screws, and cover. Bend the connector so it can pass through the hole on the underside of the mount. Reassemble the DB25 connector. Bundle up the cables and secure them together neatly. Cut off the excess. Check to see if the op console closes without being impeded. Remove the op console protective film. Install the mouse tray to the op console with M4 screws. Install the pendant mount to the side with M4 screws. The pendant is magnetic and rests here. Remove the door screws for the op console and hold on to them. Open the door and pull the AC cord through. Plug the AC cord into the top of the controller box and secure it by tightening the barrel connection. The machine Ethernet cable is attached to LAN 1 input. LAN 2 is reserved for a wired internet connection. Plug the e-stop cable into the port on the top of the electrical cabinet and secure. Plug in the Ethernet cable. Then plug in the op console power cord into one of the accessory power inputs. Start securing the cables in a bundle with wire ties. Place the cable bundle into the right side wire ties and secure. Cut off the excess. Place the keyboard and mouse onto their trays. Then route the cables through the rear access hole. Attach them to the USB inputs on the controller. Take the USB cable from the ATC and start routing it towards the op console. The USB cable goes along the right of the top right panel and into the round hole of the op console mount. Insert it into the rear of the op console access hole. Plug it into the controller. Replace the column cover and secure the screws. Use an Allen wrench to loosen the screw holding the power cord to the back of the mill and slide it out. Connect the power cord to the power outlet. Do not use an extension cable. Connect the air line to the shop air supply. Then insert the mode switch key into the operator console input and turn it clockwise. Powering on the 770MX. Turn the power switch to the on position. Twist out the emergency stop button Then press the physical reset button. Then the reset button on the main PathPilot page. Take the pendant control and switch it to the Z-axis. Then X100 for speed. Jog the spindle head up and off of the shipping block. Pull it off of the table and save it with the crate material. Specify the interval time. Press and hold either one of the minutes adjustment buttons and the screen will flash once. You can then hold either the up or down arrow on the minutes button. Here we are setting the oiler to run every 480 minutes or 8 hours. You can change that increment according to your usage. Specify the actuation time. Press and hold either of the second adjustment buttons until the display flashes. Here we are setting the oil run time to 12 seconds. You can then press the feed button to run the oiler for the first time. Remove the red shipping bracket with an Allen wrench, but then replace the screws back in the same locations that they were removed from. Remove all of the window film from the doors and side windows. You'll have to remove the side windows to do this. When replacing the side windows, add the window handles before closing. Make sure to write the date of installation as a reminder of place after 2 years. That's it for the installation of the factory assembled 770MX. If you have any issues during this installation, make sure to submit a support ticket by going to Tormach.com. Hover over the support drop-down and click on Open Support Ticket. Click on Tormach Technical Support and then the Machine Accessory Support. You can then choose your machine to start a support ticket.